Hey everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we're going to teach you how to save money at Disneyland in 2025. So let's get going. And let's go ahead and just start off with a really easy tip for you here. We're going to, all these tips at the beginning are going to be things that you can do at home before you arrive, things that you should do at home before you arrive. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is Disney gift cards. Disney gift cards are usable anywhere in the park that is Disney owned. So this probably isn't going to work at Starbucks, but just about everywhere else these gift cards will be useful for, whether you're buying merchandise or food. So what's the tip here? Well, you can hack gift cards to save money essentially. If you go to Target and you have a Target Red card, you can get 5% cash back whenever you purchase Disney gift cards there at Target. So that's, every $100, you're really only paying $95 for it. But an even better one is Sam's Club. They have a 10% deal where if you, it's not all the time, but you need to keep an eye out for it, where you can purchase a $200 gift card for $180. So you save 20 bucks. I believe there is a max, and then you take all those gift cards and you can use them to pay off your trip, or you can use them here in the park, and they're a great way to save some money with those gift card hacks. Tip number 2 is less about saving money while you're here at Disneyland, but perhaps saving money before you come. Save up some money, if you will. It's probably a bit of a no-brainer, but sell some stuff around your house. Sign up for eBay. Maybe do some surveys online. Something I used to do a lot is fill out online surveys. You may only earn like $1 or $2 per survey. Maybe some of the more lucrative ones are like $5 to $10 a survey, and they take you like a half an hour to fill out. But if you're just sitting around in the evening, maybe you're watching TV and you're multitasking, just do like a survey on your phone. You'd be surprised at how much money you can accrue over the course of a year just to go and use it all here at Disney for some extra spending money. Tip number 3 is actually a whole bunch of tips, and that is that you need to bring some things from home. Bring some things from home to save yourself a lot of money rather than buying it here at the park. One of those things is going to be a phone charger. Especially if you're going to buy Lightning Lane Multi-Pass, you're going to be using the Disneyland app a lot, and it is going to drain your battery. This here is a MagSafe one. I have a link to this one down in the description of the video. I use it all the time. MagSafe magnetically connects to the back of my phone, so I don't need any cords or anything like that. Additionally, you can purchase fuel rods. They have fuel rods here in the park. We're actually walking to the locker area to show you where you can purchase fuel rods here in the park and swap them out. Swaps are free. The fuel rods cost $38 here at Disneyland plus tax, or if you purchase them on Amazon for $40, you can get 2. So if you have a couple of people in your party, you can buy 2, and then you each have 1, and you can get free swaps here at Disneyland. And the fuel rod station that I use the most often is located back here at the lockers, which is on Main Street. And here it is, that fuel rod station. So you just come up to it, and somebody just used it here, and you can buy or you can swap, and then you insert your fuel rod up here, and a new one comes out down here. Some other items that you should bring from home are snacks, okay? Especially if you have kids. They are going to want to eat far more often than you want to stop or that you want to pay for them, because they're doing a lot of walking, and all that exercise means that they are going to be hungry. So bring fig bars from home, bring other snacks, bring Belvita biscuits, whatever it is that your kids usually eat, bring those from home, stack them in a backpack. They are going to absolutely want them. You'll save yourself some money from having to buy Disney snacks if you do that. Of course, buy the Disney snacks. I'm not telling you not to buy the Disney snacks, but just have the other things on hand for when you're standing in a 45-minute long line and they're like, I'm hungry, trust me. Additionally, you want to bring your own souvenirs. Wait, what? Trevor, did you just say to bring your own souvenirs? I did. Check this out, look. $35 for a set of mini ears. You can buy some online. People make these on Etsy that are significantly cheaper than that. Look at this t-shirt right here, okay? Just a regular, ordinary t-shirt. It doesn't even have that much printing on it. $34.99. Did you know that Kohl's has a lot of Disney merchandise, Disney t-shirts? I don't know the exact price, but trust me, it's cheaper than buying t-shirts at Disney. And again, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy a Disney t-shirt, because it's fun to buy one that actually says, Disneyland on it. But if you're just looking for something to like wear while you're here because you want themed t-shirts for the different parks that you're in, absolutely buy them before you get here. Let's talk Stroller and ECV rental for a moment. Right outside the park here, there is the entrance gates right over there. towards Disneyland. If we pan to the right, we are going to find the stroller and wheelchair rental location. And strollers is just another item that you really should bring from home. They do rent them here, $18 for a single stroller for a day, $36 for a double stroller for a day. And really, I mean, you could just bring your stroller from home, all right? They're free on airplanes. They don't charge you to put them on an airplane. They're not like baggage fees or anything. You don't have to pay for stroller rentals if you bring your own stroller. If you're worried about it getting stolen, just don't bring a $1,000 stroller. I mean, that's the bottom line. We have a like $300 or $400 stroller we bought secondhand for about $100, $150. Never had our stroller stolen, never had anything from our stroller stolen, and it's because it wasn't a like high value stroller. So don't bring a $1,000 stroller, you'll be fine. And here is a look at the Disney strollers, just so you can see them. This one is a double stroller right here, and then we have the single stroller right next to it. So you can see the Disney strollers there. And the bottom line is they're hard plastic, okay? So anything that you bring from home is going to be more comfortable. And now let's talk about their ECVs. So they do have ECVs that you can rent here, and they are $60 per day. Now, if you rent a third-party ECV from one of the many places on Harbor Boulevard, they have a lot of different places that'll rent ECVs. You can go pick them up at the hotels there. But I do know that there's a brand called Scooter Bug, which will deliver to your hotel if you don't want to have to go pick them up. But that's not the brand that's most recommended by people. D&R Mobility is the one that I hear most recommended. I don't know the prices of these different companies. Some of them are like $54 a day, and they're not like all that much cheaper per se. But the main benefit of getting an ECV off property is that you can take your ECV then back to your hotel room. The Disneyland ones cannot leave the Disneyland property, so you can't take them back to your hotel room or anything like that. You gotta pick them up here, drop them off here before you leave. And so make sure that you do third party. You'll save a little bit of money and you'll have some extra perks along the way. Tip number 5 is to look out for special ticket offers. Right now, at this time of year, they have a $50 kids ticket offer going on, and that usually gets announced around November, and it takes place from January to March because that's like the slow season. So Disney tends to offer these special ticketed offers, special discounts in order to get people into the parks during their slower months of the year. They also periodically will offer a 3-day SoCal resident ticket, and those tickets are usually good for several months. You can come, you know, like once a month or whatever. You don't have to use it all up front. And additionally, they'll offer hotel discounts. If you want to stay at a Disneyland Resort hotel, you're going to pay for it. They're pricey, but they will often have discounts, 25% discounts if you visit during certain dates and things like that. So be on the lookout for those sorts of discounts. You don't want to be leaving money on the table. Additionally, Getaway Today has a 5th day free offer, extra day free offer. And so you can buy 5 days for the price of 4. There's a little bit of a discount in there, and that's through Getaway Today. If you have been watching my channel for any length of time, you've probably heard me talk about Getaway Today. We are affiliated with them, but we used Getaway Today to book our own Disneyland vacations long before I became a vlogger. They work with most local Good Neighbor hotels and offer the lowest rates available. If you find a lower price somewhere else, Getaway Today will also price match it for you. Many of these hotels have 4th night free offers, and several hotels with Getaway Today have Getaway Today guest only perks. What do I mean? We're talking about things like free parking and free breakfast that you can only get if you book through Getaway Today. Additionally, you can use my coupon code, which is down in the description, and you'll save an additional $10 off of their already discounted hotel and ticket packages. It doesn't work on ticket-only purchases, only hotel and ticket packages. I will tell you this, that if you click the link down in the description as well, you'll get the lowest possible rates on Getaway Today when you're booking your hotel and ticket packages. I'm gonna pop out here on Harbor Boulevard real quick, just outside the entrance gates to Disneyland, to talk about staying at a Good Neighbor hotel. There's a whole bunch of hotels. I can see the Tropicana. We also have the Best Western Plus Park Place Mini Suites right there. There's the Park View Inn. I mean, there's tons of hotels right here on Harbor Boulevard. We call these Good Neighbor hotels. And if I flip around, many of them are actually closer to Disneyland than the Disneyland Hotel. And here we are right at the entrance gates to the Disneyland Resort, headed into the Disneyland Park from this area. And look, staying at a Disneyland hotel is like the dream, right? Because it's Disney and you don't have to leave the bubble. If you're a Walt Disney World vet, you're used to staying on property. But I want you to know that they only have 3 hotels here at Disneyland, and all 3 of them are deluxe priced resorts. However, if you stay at a Good Neighbor hotel, many of them are priced in the $200 to $300 a night range. There are some that are even $100 or below, like the Motel 6 Anaheim Main Gate. Now, that hotel is going to be be like, you know, the lowest of the low if you're just looking for a bed to sleep in and you're going to spend most of your time in the park. They don't have any like special perks or anything like that. They're not associated with Getaway Today, but they are one of the cheapest that I'm aware of. But some of these other hotels on Harbor Boulevard that I highly recommend, I absolutely love the Best Western Park Place, which is the one that we just pointed out. Closest hotel to Disneyland of any of the hotels. The Howard Johnson is great. The Courtyard by Marriott's pretty good. We also enjoy Candy Cane Inn, not affiliated with Getaway Today, but really enjoyed that one. One that's a little bit further away, but they have a free shuttle, is the Anaheim Majestic Garden Hotel, and that one is associated with Getaway Today. A little bit cheaper. They have a shuttle. And then the Clarion. The Clarion's a little bit further down, maybe 2-3 blocks down, but it's right next to the Toy Story lot. So you can walk over to Toy Story lot and you can take the free Toy Story shuttle right here to the park. So there are some nearby good neighbor hotels that are worthy of your consideration, many of them with free parking, many of them with free breakfast. And so, and that's actually the next item we can just talk about right now. I wasn't going to talk about it yet, but free breakfast, okay? Free breakfast. Some of the hotels have free breakfast. And this is a great way to save some money at Disneyland. That way you don't have to buy food here in the park. And the free breakfast perk, you just have to be careful with that, is that if the price of the hotel is more expensive to compensate for the free breakfast, then are you really getting free breakfast? But the larger your family, that free breakfast is going to be a major help for you to not have to shell out a lot of money every morning for breakfast. Free breakfast, definitely something that you need to consider when you're booking a hotel. So the hotels with free breakfast that I can think of off the top of my head that are really good, I love the Candy Cane Inn, which you already mentioned. The Cambria, which I have not stayed at yet, but I really, really want to. Cambria has got free breakfast. Amazing big free breakfast. I have toured the hotel, just haven't stayed there yet. Any of the Best Westerns are going to have free breakfast. Again, Park Place, the one that I recommended, but there's four total Best Westerns here. So things to consider when you are looking for a hotel to book. The next thing that you should do is visit Disneyland during the off-season. Now, they say there is no more off-season when it comes to crowds, but today is a pretty close day to it, man. It is gorgeous here today, almost 10 o'clock, and still a lot of 5-minute waits throughout the park. Empty lines, just absolutely gorgeous here today. But aside from lower crowds during the off-season, there absolutely is an off-season for ticket prices and hotel prices. If you try to come during spring break, you try to come during the summer or over major holidays, you are going to pay more for hotels. You're going to pay more for tickets. Disney has 7 different tiers of tickets, and tier 6 is the highest. Tier 0 is the lowest. Tier 6 is like nearly $200. If it's not over $200, I don't know the exact prices. Tier 0 is only $104 a day. And so if you want to come during cheaper times of the year, you're going to have cheaper ticket prices, cheaper hotel prices, because the hotels aren't going to charge as much during the off season. So visit during the off season. Come at what is the off season? January, February, September, November, May. Those months are going to be your lower months with lower crowds overall, but as well as lower ticket prices, lower hotel costs. What is this tier thing? I've never heard of this tier thing before. That is if you're only purchasing one-day tickets. Now, this is an advanced hack, but it is a huge money-saving hack if you're willing to go through it. It's not like a huge hassle or anything, but it takes a little bit more effort. And what I mean by that is that you should purchase one-day tickets instead of a multi-day ticket. Okay, if you want to come, I think the dates that I looked up were February 25th, 26th, and 27th. All 3 of those are tier 0 days. How do you find out what tier a day is? You have to book a one-day ticket. If you go to book multi-day tickets, all they're going to do is they're going to equalize the price to roughly around tier 3 or 4, and they're going to charge you that price for all of the days. It's kind of like a flat rate. However, if you pick a one-day ticket, each of the days of the week are going to have different prices assigned to them. Weekdays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, things like that are going to have lower prices assigned to them than Saturdays and Sundays, which are going to be higher tiers because they're more desirable days. And so they're going to be more expensive days to come. And so the trick here is that if you want to book a 2 or a 3-day stay, instead of booking a multi-day ticket, book single-day tickets. Okay, so for the example of February 25th, 26th, and 27th, they're all 3 tier 0 days. If I wanted to book those separately as 3 one-day tickets for Monday, for Tuesday, and for Thursday, it's going to cost me $312. However, if I want to book those those same 3 days on a multi-day ticket, it's going to cost me $415. Yeah, if I book them separately, it is $312. That's a savings of $103 per person if you book them all separately as one-day tickets. What's the downside here? What's the drawback? Why don't people do this? Well, first off, if you're coming 3 days and you have 4 people in your party, now that means you're going to have 12 tickets that you have to manage inside the Disneyland app. The more tickets you have on the app, the more cumbersome it's going to be to work through those. Additionally, every day that you come into the park, they're going to take your photo. If you buy a multi-day ticket, they take your photo once at the beginning, and then it's good for the rest of the trip. You don't need your photo every time you enter the park, but booking one-day tickets, you have to do that each and every day the first time you come into the park. And so it's a little bit of a hassle, but I mean, there are 2 very minor downsides to saving a ton of money. So a very advanced hack, but one that will save you a lot of money, is booking one-day tickets instead of a multi-day ticket. Here's 2 flight-related tips for you. If you can, and this one's not going to work for everybody, but fly on holidays, okay? So I am actually looking at going to Walt Disney World for Thanksgiving this year. We're considering it, and I was looking at plane tickets to go there, and we would be leaving the week before Thanksgiving, and then we were hoping to stay through Thanksgiving weekend since the kids are off of school. However, plane tickets on the weekend after Thanksgiving are astronomical. Now, I didn't look at round-trip tickets for this particular purpose, but for one-way tickets, if I wanted to fly on Thanksgiving itself, it was $140 a person, which was pretty good. I mean, the round trip's going to be a little bit higher, of course. I think it was in the $300 to $400 range whenever I looked. I did check, but I don't remember it recently. And the prices only went up from there. The day after was like $250. Saturday was like $400 or $500. Sunday was $650, and Monday, the day after Thanksgiving, was $850 for a one-way ticket from Orlando back to San Diego. Absolutely astronomical. Cheapest day to fly on Thanksgiving itself. Why? Nobody wants to fly on Thanksgiving. Nobody wants to fly on Christmas or on 4th of July or on Memorial Day. Everyone wants to be somewhere doing things those days. So if you can fly on a holiday, you will save a lot of money in plane tickets. Tip number 2 for flights is to check the different airports. There are 3 main airports that people fly into here for Disneyland, and that is going to be LAX, John Wayne, which is here in Orange County. It's the closest airport to Disneyland, and Long Beach. Look for the cheapest flights. Now, John Wayne may not have the most affordable flights compared to LAX, which because it's a bigger airport, it's probably going to have cheaper flights. However, you have to factor in the pain of navigating the airports as well as getting here from those airports. The further airports like LAX are going to cost more money to get here. John Wayne and Uber is going to be cheaper from John Wayne. So factor these details in. Again, when you are picking your airports, the airport that you choose will play a factor, as well as the cost of transportation from those airports. Tip number 13 is going to be mindful of the different age brackets that there are here at Disneyland. What do I mean by that? Well, if you visit before a child turns 3, they're actually free to come into the park. Yeah, 2 and under kids are free. 2 and under kids also don't need Lightning Lane Multipass. So if they don't have a ticket, they don't need Lightning Lane Multipass. And there are rides throughout the park with no height requirements that they're able to ride. So you don't have to pay for them for that. Additionally, behind me is the Plaza Inn. And this is a location that has a character breakfast in the morning. It is a buffet, and there's a couple of buffets around the park, and kids 2 and under are also free at buffets. So that's a great consideration if you want to bring little ones into the park. Additionally, ages 3 to 9 have cheaper ticket prices to come into Disneyland, as well as cheaper prices at places like the Plaza. They're more affordable than adult prices. Once a kid turns 10, they are considered an adult by Disney standards, and they're going to charge you adult prices for those meals and for ticket prices. Tips number 14 and 15 kind of go hand in hand, and that is, I'm going to tell you first off to skip the park hopper, okay? There's very few scenarios that I can think of where a park hopper is absolutely necessary. Is it a nice thing to have? Yes, if you are a Disney vet who comes all the time and you're very familiar with the parks, absolutely nice thing to have. But is it necessary? Do you need to spend the extra money? No, you do not. If you're coming for one day, just enjoy Disneyland. There's no reason for you to try to split your your attentions with DCA, you're gonna have a better time just sticking with Disneyland. Coming for 2 days, visit 1 day in each park. Coming for 3 days, do 2 at Disneyland and 1 at DCA. Again, there's really no reason for a park hopper. Now, people coming for 4 or 5 days may consider the park hopper, but I have this recommendation as an acceptable alternative, okay? And that is tip number 15 is to eliminate a day. Yes, get rid of a day from your vacation. If you are coming 5 days, perhaps consider dropping down to 4 and adding the park hopper. That'll be a way to avoid an extra night of hotels, an extra day of food. You add in the park hopper and now you have that ability to enjoy both parks all 4 days. Their consideration for how to save some money to make coming to Disneyland a bit more affordable. If you really want a park hopper, just consider dropping a day and adding the park hopper in that way. But I wouldn't do that for anything less than 3 days. Truthfully, I would just enjoy your time in the parks. Tip number 16 and 17 are likewise also kind of going to go hand in hand here, and that is that I'm going to tell you to skip Lightning Lane Multipass. I talk about Lightning Lane Multipass a lot here on the channel. I do find it to be pretty helpful. However, if you're trying to save some money, it is absolutely not necessary, especially if you are visiting at times of the year like right now, which is January, and it's not as crowded. Of course, spring break, Christmas, other major holidays, you're probably going to want it for your sanity's sake. But if you're trying to save some money, you don't need it those other times of the year. You can absolutely forego it. However, tip number 17, if you absolutely are going to purchase Lightning Lane Multipass, you've budgeted for that, consider pre-purchasing it when you buy your tickets. And this is going to allow you to lock in the lowest rates, okay? And the prices fluctuate depending on the day, depending on the season, depending on how busy it is. And if you pre-purchase it, you're going to lock it in on the lowest rate. Now, the one caveat with that is if you're coming for 5 days, you probably don't need Lightning Lane Multipass all 5 days. And when you pre-purchase, it pays for all of the days in your trip. So really anything longer than probably 3 days, you shouldn't pre-purchase it. Instead, just purchase it day of. But if you are coming for 1, 2, or 3 days, you could consider pre-purchasing it to lock in the lowest rates. My next tip is to skip the rental car. Get a hover car instead. No, I'm joking, of course. We're in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and I just popped in a spot here. And I saw this vehicle. I thought this was a great place to talk about rental cars. You don't need them, okay? You don't need a rental car unless you're planning on going somewhere else. You're planning on going to Universal or planning on going to the beach, maybe going down to San Diego, that sort of thing. You really don't need a rental car. You can take a shuttle from the airport. You can grab an Uber, grab a Lyft, whatever. We already mentioned that. Come here. If you're staying at a good neighbor hotel that's on Harbor or Coachella, you're pretty close to the park, you can absolutely walk, or you can look for a hotel with a shuttle. Skip the rental car. You'll save yourself a couple $100 on the rental car. Almost every single hotel in this area charges, especially if you're staying at the Disneyland Hotel. They charge like $40 a night. Some the hotels in the area, $20, $25 a night, things like that. You're going to save yourself on parking fees if you skip the rental car. So it's just not necessary. If you're trying to save some money, I do recommend skipping the rental car. And hey, look, the money that you save by skipping the rental car is money that you can spend here at Savvy's workshop building your own custom lightsaber. That experience will run you a little over $200. So yeah, try to find some money savings elsewhere if you want to take advantage of some of the paid experiences here in the park. And this next one is a big one, and it's the last of my tips for you to do while you are still at home. And that is to sign up for credit cards and take advantage of some special credit card promos. If you want to sign up for the Disney Premier Visa card, right now they have a special offer that if you spend $1,000 within the first 3 months, you will get a $400 statement credit on your account. And so here's what I would recommend doing. Signing up for that Disney Premier Visa card, using that card to pay for your Disneyland vacation, thereby meeting the minimum requirements. You'll get a $400 statement credit, which is basically $400 free on your Disney vacation. Then pay it off, don't use the card, and cancel it a little bit later on. Don't do it right away. You don't want your credit score to take a hit, but do it before the annual fee. The annual fee for that card is only $49, so if you do happen to forget, it's not the end of the world. You're still saving $350 on your Disney vacation. You can take advantage of credit card points. Get a card that gives you good cash back, gives you good points. I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred. I really love this card. It gives me an extra 25% when I redeem my points on Chase Travel. So I often use it to book airline tickets, and every single year we go to Walt Disney World or Aulani, I save between $800 to $1,000 on airline tickets. It is a huge, huge savings, and all I do is just use the card regularly throughout the year for regular purchases. You can look at cards that give you airline points and things like that. I don't know, there's probably better cards out there, but look for a good card that'll give you good cash back. Use those then to purchase your plane tickets to come to Disneyland to help make your Disneyland vacation more affordable. This is a great opportunity to transition over from the things that you can do at home to the things that you should do while you are here. And while we're talking about credit cards, Disney Visa card holders, whether they are a Disney Visa credit card or a Disney Visa debit card, Disney Visa card holders can take advantage of special perks while you are here at the park. Photo ops and things like that, but also money saving discounts as well. You can get 10% on merchandise in the gift shops. Additionally, you can get 10% off at select dining locations throughout the park. I'm going to put those dining locations here on the screen for you to look at, but the short of it, the nutshell is that it works at every single table service location in both parks with the exception of Blue Bayou and Lamplight Lounge. There's also some quick service dining locations on there, like the Golden Horseshoe located behind me here. Golden Horseshoe is one of the few quick service locations that does accept a 10% discount from Visa card holders. So even if you aren't an annual pass holder and can't get that regular annual pass holder discount, you can get the Disney Visa card holder discount. Also, if that wasn't enough, you get 15% off the guided tours here at Disneyland, like Walt's Main Street Story. So discounts abound around the park if you have a Disney Visa card. While we're talking about discounts, I wanted to mention that you should consider merch discounts, or looking for merchandise discounts anyway. There's none at this time of year. I just went into Pioneer Mercantile here looking for any sort of signs that might have had discounted merchandise. Could not find any. However, certain times of year, like after usually seasonal type things, after Halloween, after Christmas, a lot of the seasonal type merchandise or dated merchandise will be discounted. And usually the discount's about 30%. So I remember about a week or two before Christmas, they were discounting a lot of the Christmas merchandise. You could have gotten a Christmas lounge fly for 30% off. What you do is you take that 30% off and then you stack it with other discounts. If you're a Magic Key holder, you can stack it with your Magic Key discount. Or if you are a Visa card holder, which we just talked about, you can actually get your 10% Visa card discount on top of the 30% discounted merchandise price because of the seasonality. Amy did this when we were in Walt Disney World last year, and she bought an Orange Bird lounge fly, which was for Flower and Garden Festival. Flower and Garden was ending in a week, and so all of that stuff was discounted 30%. She got the 30% for the lounge fly, as well as 10% for our Visa card discount. So we were able to take advantage of that for some huge merch discounts. Now let's move on to some food type centric tips, and this is tip number 22 if I am still on track, and that is to split meals. Share meals between adults or between children. A lot of the meals here at Disneyland are large and they're very filling. Places like Alien Pizza Planet here behind me, Rancho del Zocalo, Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta over at Disney California Adventure, Tiana's Palace. There's a bunch of places around the park where their portion sizes are quite substantial. They're quite large. And you could easily split between two adults. Amy and I have done this to great effect over the years as well to save a lot of money. With children especially, split an adult meal instead of buying them kids' meals. It is cheaper that way. My kids do it all the time. A very affordable way to save some money on food here at Disneyland. Here's another food sharing tip for you. We're at Gibson Girl Ice Cream Parlor right now, and there are a couple of places around the park like ice cream parlors, Clarabelle's, Gibson Girl, Salt and Straw, as well as other places like Jamba out in downtown Disney that have multiple sizes, and it is recommended instead of buying 2 single scoops for 2 kids, buy a double scoop. You can ask for 2 different flavors on those double scoops and then get a second cup. And then you can split the double scoop ice cream into 2 separate cups. And it's cheaper than buying 2 single scoops separately. If you go to Jamba, I've done this before where I've bought a large smoothie, asked for 2 small cups and split a large smoothie into those 2 small cups for the children or even for adults as well. It's better than buying 2 smalls because 2 smalls are like $10 and a large is like $12. So, you know, instead of spending $20, you could spend $12 and split the large basically into 2 smalls. So there's a lot of food sharing hacks like that that you should take advantage of to save some money around the parks. My next tip is to actually bring your own food. Now, they do have like picnic tables out front in the Esplanade area. It's specifically designed for you to have a picnic, bring your own food, and eat your own food there. But perhaps maybe a bit more practical is that you should make like sandwiches for little children. When my kids were little, they preferred peanut butter and jelly sandwich to Disney food any day of the week. So we brought up some bread, we brought up little like to-go packets of jelly and peanut butter, and Amy would build their sandwiches at lunchtime. And we would still get them a Disney meal for dinner most of the time, but it was just a quick way to save some money at lunch by giving them a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And again, I mean, at that age, they mostly preferred PB&J to whatever you would get here. But you can also eat food outside of the park, okay? There is a McDonald's and a Panera Bread right outside the gates of Disneyland. Additionally, the Garden Walk has tons of restaurants. If you really do not want Disney food because of like sticker shock and price shock and things like that, because of how much things cost here, you can consider that. Earl of Sandwich in downtown Disney, though it still is on Disney property, has pretty affordable meals, like $8 sandwiches, really good. So consider things like that as well if you don't want to pay. I understand that some of the meals here are like 20 bucks, but the average meal is between $13 and $15 around Disneyland. This next tip is an oldie but a goodie, and I'm going to keep sharing it and I'm going to keep pounding it, but please do not buy water bottles here at the park. Don't waste your money. I've seen people go up to Galactic Grill and say, oh, can I get 5 water bottles? And they just spend 20 bucks on buying water bottles, but more than that after tax and things. Buying water bottles here in the park when they give you free cups of water if you ask. Water is completely free. All you have to do is ask for it. Do not buy bottles of water here. They're expensive, okay? They're expensive. Along this lines, you could bring your own water bottle, okay? And use the refill stations around the park. They have refill stations all over the place. And you could just fill up your own water bottle. Please do not pay for water bottles here in the park. It's too much money. And we are back at Alien Pizza Planet for our next tip, and that is that you can get free refills on sodas at a few locations. Excuse me, I have hiccups. At a few locations throughout the park. Alien Pizza Planet is one of a few places where after the register, you actually have access to the soda fountains. Guests have access to the soda fountains over here, and so you can get free refills on soda. If you're gonna pay for soda is not free anywhere in the park, of course, and so you can come over here to Alien Pizza Planet and you can get free refills on sodas from the fountain machine. So all you have to do is just, get up from your table and come over here and refill anytime you want to refill. There's no extra charge for refilling here. You know a good cure for hiccups? This one's free. Peanut butter. Peanut butter. A spoonful of peanut butter makes it disappear immediately. Unfortunately, I don't have a spoonful of peanut butter with me right now. But refills. There's a couple of places around the park that allow you free refills. Alien Pizza Planet being one of them, Pimp Test Kitchen over at Disney California Adventure being the other. Those places have the soda fountain after the register. However, there are some other restaurants that have guest-facing soda fountains, and that's going to be Rancho del Zocalo, Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, as well as the Plaza Inn. Now, all three of these locations, the soda fountains are on the wrong side of the register. So if you go to walk by the register to get out, they may ask you to pay for the beverage at those locations. But those 5 locations again are Alien Pizza Planet and Pimp Test Kitchen for sure, Rancho del Zocalo, Plaza Inn, and Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta. Here's another tried and true tip of mine, one of my favorites that I will talk about all the time, and that is make a food budget before you get here. I suppose that should have been in the before you arrive section, but this is where we're talking about all the food, so this is kind of where I put it in my list. But create a food budget. Look through all of the menus, create an idea of where you want to eat, what you want to eat. That way you learn what these items cost. You don't get that sticker shock. You're able to save, you're able to plan for it. Additionally, I find that when I'm planning food, I plan for more food than I'm actually going to get or actually capable of eating. So usually I'll find that I only ate maybe like 60 to 70% of my list. So I technically saved money because I didn't spend as much as I thought I was going to. And it also saves you time. Knowing where you want to eat before you get here will avoid you having that like 20 minutes of indecisiveness about where to go and what to eat, and time is money, as they say. So creating a food budget really is going to be helpful overall for you before you come to Disneyland to just help control how much you spend, but also save you time as well. And here's my last tip for you. Don't buy PhotoPass, okay? If you get off the ride, you'll see these ride photos and things like that, and there are other photo opportunities around the park, like in front of the castle and whatnot with PhotoPass cast members. Don't buy the PhotoPass, or don't buy one-off photos, okay? Instead, buy a Lightning Lane MultiPass, because PhotoPass is a built-in perk of Lightning Lane MultiPass. If you want to learn more about Lightning Lane MultiPass, whether it's right for you or your family, and the other perks of having it, go ahead and click this video right here. Thanks for watching this one. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. If you got questions, drop them in the comments below. I'm always happy to answer them. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.